Okay, let's unpack this.
Yeah.
You probably saw the headline pop up, right? Tom Holland.
Spider-Man himself.
Yeah, our current Spider-Man, injured on the set of Spider-Man. Brand new day.
Mm-hmm.
It was the kind of headline that makes you pause, you know? He's arguably the biggest superhero star in the world right now.
That's way up there.
And he got, well, clocked on the job.
Yeah.
So the immediate news cycle was, as always, kind of polished and reassuring.
Predictable, almost.
Right. Holland is recovering from a mild concussion, and the studio, they were quick with the standard PR promise. The release schedule remains unchanged.
Right. Nothing to see here, folks.
Exactly. But our mission today is to look past that, past the reassuring statement. We want to analyze the real physics of blockbuster movie realism.
The actual mechanics and the fallout?
Yeah, the rising risks and, crucially, the absolutely astronomical costs that come with demanding A-list stars put themselves in, genuine physical jeopardy.
It's a huge calculation.
This incident, it feels like much more than just one actor getting a headache. It's like an industry alarm bell ringing.
It absolutely is, because when an A-list star, the person whose face anchors a multi-billion-dollar franchise gets hurt, even mildly, it stops being just about safety protocols. Suddenly, it's a massive conversation about protecting assets, financial assets.
Right.
It forces studio executives to confront this recurring, almost existential dilemma they have.
Which is?
Well, they're wrestling with authenticity versus guaranteed safety. And the core question that surfaces every single time is, given the sheer financial scale of these projects, should Hollywood fundamentally rethink how far they push their main talent, for the sake of a practical stunt?
That makes sense. Let's maybe start with Holland himself, because he's never really hidden his commitment, has he?
No, not at all. He comes from a gymnastics background.
Right, trained gymnast. Always seemed proud of attempting the impossible, but even he admitted back in 2021 that some of the Spider-Man choreography and scenes were, I think his words were, too insane, even for his personal comfort level.
Which says a lot, coming from him.
And now we have this incident, a mild concussion. Sources say it happened during a pretty complex wire stunt sequence for a brand new day.
Those wire sequences could be incredibly tricky.
And you mentioned the narrative control. It was immediate, like, boom. Production paused briefly, sure, but they want him back quickly.
Get the train back on the tracks.
Exactly. The message is crystal clear. Tom's fine. Production's fine. Don't worry. Keep buying those tickets. But the financial reality underneath that message? It's staggering.
Oh, yeah.
Even a mild concussion, causing just a 2 or 3 day delay, that can cost the studio millions. Millions of dollars per day.
Easily. You've got union wages, location rentals, equipment just sitting there, huge crews, idle. It adds up incredibly fast.
So what's fascinating here, as you said, is that Holland's accident isn't really an anomaly. It's more like a data point.
Exactly. It's a data point in a long, high-risk historical pattern. The history of A-list injuries, it tells a really compelling story about Hollywood's increasing tolerance for spectacle, maybe even dependence on it.
Especially among its most bankable stars.
Precisely. Think back to Harrison Ford. The man's practically a legend for getting injured on set.
Star Wars, Indiana Jones.
Right. Across multiple huge franchises. But the history gets even more relevant recently, I think. Tom Cruise breaking his ankle filming Mission Impossible 6.
Oh, yeah, I remember seeing that footage.
Everyone saw that footage. That viral video, the sight of their biggest action star hitting the side of that building and just collapsing. That wasn't just a physical injury. It fundamentally changed risk assessment calculations across the entire industry. Overnight.
Wow. And I guess we can't forget Jeremy Renner either. That horrifying near-fatal snowplow accident in early 2023.
Yeah, and while that wasn't technically on a film set.
Right, it wasn't.
It vividly showed the world just how precarious a leading man's health and, by extension, the future of any franchise he leads can be.
So this history isn't just a list of bruises and breaks.
No. It's a record of billions, literally billions of dollars, momentarily hanging in the balance every time something goes wrong.
And that search for authenticity, that constant push for more risk, it's driven by us, isn't it? The audience.
Largely, yes. That's the modern dilemma right there.
We reward real stunts. When we see that clip of Tom Cruise actually holding onto the side of a plane or, Holland swinging without a net, It feels authentic.
It does. It grounds these massive superhero or spy movies in something tangible. It makes the spectacle feel genuinely earned somehow.
And from the studio side?
Oh, from the studio perspective, the marketing is absolute gold. That PR angle, the fact that the actor did it for real, maybe even suffered a bit for their art.
Yeah.
That sells tickets. It solidifies the franchise brand better than any CGI trailer ever could. So the studios, they're truly juggling here. They need the authenticity that practical stunts provide. They absolutely require worker safety, legally and ethically. And yet, they must protect these massive, sometimes $500 million investments.
It really feels like we're hitting some kind of breaking point, though. I mean, while Marvel and DC, they rely heavily on CGI for the huge spectacle stuff. You know, whole cities falling apart.
For really big, impossible visuals.
Yeah, but the close-up fighting, the falls, the web slinging, that's often done practically by actors like Holland.
Right. That's where the perceived realism often comes from.
That risk sells, like you said.
Yeah.
But when the insurance bill for that risk starts getting close to the cost of the special effects themselves,
yeah,
well, the calculus has to change, doesn't it?
It has to. And that rising price tag, that's exactly what brings us to these internal, closed-door discussions that are being reignited right now because of this concussion.
This specific incident.
Yes. It prompts that core debate again among the executives. Is risking an A-list star literally the face of your entire brand? Is it truly worth the perceived benefit of practical authenticity anymore?
And the financial stakes are just enormous.
Enormous. And we need to look beyond just the daily shutdown costs, which are already huge.
Okay.
Every single accident, even one considered relatively minor, like Holland's concussion, it causes insurance premiums to skyrocket.
For that movie?
Across the board. For that studio, potentially. Maybe even ripple effects across the industry. Because insurers, they view major studios as a sort of portfolio of risk.
Ah, okay.
So one big accident affects the perceived risk profile of the whole group for the next round of negotiations. It forces executives to seriously question the value proposition. Practical stunt versus the controllable fixed cost of a digital solution.
That's a really crucial distinction. So if studios are going to step back from practical stunts because the risk is just too high, what's the immediate, technological lifeline they can grab onto?
Well, the good news for them, maybe, is that we already have the tools in place.
Yeah. Like what?
To handle, say, 90% of the risk without losing the star's face on screen, the sources confirm technology already allows for pretty seamless face swapping.
Right, digital makeup, essentially.
Kind of. Between the high-risk stunt performers and the leading actors, they could definitely be using that much more frequently to reduce the time an A-list star spends in genuine physical jeopardy.
Without sacrificing the star's presence in the final shot.
Exactly. So you might expect fewer really risky shots for Holland. Maybe at least for a little while.
But wait, that face swapping, that still needs someone to actually do the stunt, right?
That's the immediate tactical fix, yes.
Okay.
And it's essential to clarify something really important here. Face swapping still requires a highly skilled human stunt double to perform the actual movement in real life.
Okay.
That human being is still taking the fall, still risking the concussion or breaking their bone. The tech just lets the star be digitally inserted into that moment later.
So it mitigates the financial risk associated with the star.
Precisely. But not necessarily the physical risk for the stunt team doing the dangerous work.
Right. Okay. And that distinction, that leads us straight to the budget side of things, the budget imperative. Here's where it gets really interesting, I think.
The pure numbers argument.
Yeah, the financial argument for shifting entirely to digital. Studios are, at their core, risk-averse, especially when hundreds of millions, sometimes billions, are on the line.
Fundamentally, yes.
The calculus, like you mentioned, it seems straightforward, but people don't usually talk about it this explicitly. You can calculate the fixed cost of rendering a perfect, photorealistic digital version of a fight sequence or a fall. It might cost, say, $10 million, but that's a known quantity, a predictable cost.
You can budget for it.
Right. Contrast that with the variable, potentially exponential cost of a production shutdown. We're talking millions lost per day, plus all the unquantifiable damage to the global release schedule, merchandising tie-ins, marketing campaigns.
The knock-on effects are massive.
So the argument is going to increasingly become that CGI is ultimately cheaper, faster, and infinitely more controllable than risking a massive franchise delay because one star gets injured.
And if we look even further down the road, maybe not that far, this financial pressure inevitably drives us towards the more radical solution.
Which is?
The use of sophisticated AI and fully digital doubles.
Yeah.
And this potentially removes the need for any human performer in the highest risk shots. Not the star, not even the stunt double.
Wow.
Yeah, we've already seen these pieces in play, haven't we? Just maybe for different reasons initially. Look at the incredibly detailed, de-aged Harrison Ford in Indiana Jones 5.
Yeah, that was pretty seamless in parts.
Or the complex use of a CGI Leia in Star Wars after Carrie Fisher's tragic passing. The technology is almost indistinguishable from reality, certainly in short bursts.
So applying this to the Spider-Man situation, Marvel could theoretically create a full digital Tom Holland.
Theoretically, yes. One that handles all the high-risk, web-slinging, building-smashing stunts entirely in the computer. The physical work is performed once, maybe by a digital artist collaborating with an AI choreographer.
And then reused forever?
Potentially.
Yeah.
Or tweaked infinitely without risk.
Okay, this is where we hit the philosophical wall, isn't it?
I think so. This raises a really important question. For actors, for audiences, for everyone, it extends way beyond just insurance premiums.
Which is?
At what point does the actual performance, the physical effort, the pushing of boundaries, maybe even the pain, stop being the actors, the human being who signed up for the job?
Yeah.
And at what point does it start just being an AI's perfect mimicry?
That's huge, because it really changes the very definition of what acting is in a blockbuster context.
Completely.
So if the studios are heading that way and the financial signals are practically screaming that they are, we have to consider how the audience is going to react.
We absolutely do. Because, hardcore fans, the real cinephiles maybe, they've always cherished the reality of practical stunts. There's a certain respect there.
Right.
If those stunts vanish entirely, replaced by digital perfection, those devoted viewers might complain. They might feel the movies are too manufactured, too, I don't know, cartoony.
Or just inauthentic because they know the human effort isn't there anymore.
Exactly. They might feel a subconscious disconnection when the spectacle feels too perfect, too weightless, too easy.
But there's the other side, too, isn't there?
Oh, yeah. We have to contrast that with the average viewer. The person who, let's be honest, is responsible for pushing the box office numbers into the billions.
The casual moviegoer.
Right. And that person, the sources suggest, simply wants exciting spectacle, good characters they care about, and a compelling story. Explosions, quips, web-slinging.
So do they really care how the effect was achieved? If the digital Tom Holland looks and moves exactly like the real one, will the average viewer even notice or care?
That's the billion-dollar question.
I find myself wondering if there's a certain, an uncanny valley, but for stunts.
Interesting. Explain that.
Where the stunts are too flawless, maybe?
Right.
Too fluid? And we instinctively, subconsciously realize they couldn't really have been done by a human, even if we can't consciously spot the CGI trickery.
That uncanny valley of stunts, that's a great way to put it. We always talk about the uncanny valley for faces, but you're right, it could absolutely apply to physics and motion too.
Yeah.
If the web slinging feels too fast, maybe, or the physics of a fall looks too clean, too controlled, that subconscious disconnect might still erode the overall audience experience over time, even for the casual viewer.
So that's the real tightrope walk for Hollywood, then.
I think it is. Maximize safety and financial control using all this amazing technology while somehow minimizing the erosion of that vital, maybe subconscious feeling of human authenticity.
It's tricky. This whole incident, Tom Holland's concussion, it definitely feels like more than just a news blip. It feels like a watershed moment.
It could be, or at least another significant marker on the road.
So what does this all mean for you as a movie watcher?
Well, Tom Holland's concussion might not delay Brand New Day, but it really marks another step toward a huge inflection point in how Hollywood makes these movies. The industry's clearly at a crossroads. They seem to have two main options, and honestly, both carry enormous risks in different ways.
Option one.
Keep chasing high-risk realism, accept the rising insurance costs, brace for those unpredictable delays. Basically, keep doing what they're doing, but know the price is going up.
Option two.
Fully hand the most dangerous stuff over to sophisticated CGI and AI-driven digital doubles, but risk sacrificing that emotional weight, that grounded feeling that comes with knowing a human did it.
And this choice, whichever way they lean or how they blend the two, it's going to fundamentally redefine the experience of blockbuster cinema. What's actually up there on the screen, and maybe more importantly, how it got there. It'll change over the next few years.
Yeah, definitely something to watch.
Which leaves us with this final kind of provocative thought for you to chew on, building on all this.
If AI can perfectly mimic a star's most dangerous stunt work, generating all the thrills without the financial gamble or the physical risk. What value will audiences ultimately place on the human effort behind the spectacle? Especially when you consider that maintaining that human effort and the inherent chance of injury that comes with it now requires substantially higher insurance premiums, adding millions to every single blockbuster budget.
So the risk itself becomes the expensive luxury item.
Exactly. When safety and digital perfection become the cheapest, most reliable option, the premium becomes the risk itself. That's a debate, I think, that goes far beyond just one Spider-Man movie. It's about the future of spectacle.